Jose Aldo, my God, what a performance, man! There are some fighters in the UFC that when they win, there's a different kind of joy that you get when they go out there and they perform. Anderson Silva is one of those guys. When GSP used to fight, he was one of those guys. And now Jose Aldo. Every time Aldo goes out there and he performs, it really, really makes me happy. And I think a part of that has to do with the fact that, man, especially after his loss to Conor McGregor, getting stopped the way that he did, a lot of people counted that man out. A lot of people forgot just what Jose Aldo had accomplished. And it's also true that a lot of those people were brand new to the sport, right? A lot of those people were brand new because Conor McGregor brought them into the sport. So they never really got to see Jose Aldo, the featherweight king, the man who held that throne for a very, very long time. They never got to see that version of Jose. I mean, it's very possible that a lot of those guys, their very first introduction to Jose Aldo was him getting stopped by Conor McGregor in 13 seconds. And of course, when that happens, it makes you question just how good a fighter is. But that fight, that loss, the way it happened, that is not an indication at all as to the skill of the man. It doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't even tell a part of the story of Jose Aldo. And watching him get clowned and people saying that Aldo is washed up or he was never good. All he's good at is at beating wrestlers. You know, he doesn't do well against strikers. All of these things that a lot of people were saying about Aldo, it kind of makes you just root a lot harder for the man. And when he goes out there and he performs like he just did against Rob Font, it makes you really glad. It really does. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. Going into this fight, I was worried for Jose Aldo. I really was. I was worried for a few reasons that I do think are valid. One of them being the fact that Aldo has been known to get tired. Like, we've seen that happen before. It's not the first time that it's happened. We've seen him get tired twice against Max Holloway. We've seen him get tired in the bantamweight division against Piotr Jan. And then in the featherweight division earlier in his career, we saw the same thing happen to him against Mark Hominick. It's like a pattern for Jose Aldo. In the first few rounds, typically the first 3 rounds, he does very well. And then he starts to slow down. That is definitely something that we have seen from the man. And it's worse against volume style fighters that push forward, fighters that gas him out more. It tends to get worse against those kinds of fighters. And taking a look at Rob Font, that is exactly the kind of fighter that Rob Font is. You know, he's a pressure fighter. He loves to throw a lot of volume. He gets in your face. His jabs are very excellent. He's got very good 1-2 shots. And again, the 1-2 is another shot that Jose Aldo has fallen victim to in the past. Of course, with Mark Hominick, with Max Holloway, even with Piotr Jan, he tends to get hit with that shot quite a bit. And so I was worried for that. I really was. I thought that maybe Aldo would do well in the first few rounds, but then as round number 3 comes around, maybe he's going to start getting tired. You know, he's going to get tired enough that Rob Font is going to close that gap and take over the fight. That's what I thought could possibly happen. But my God, that Jose Aldo shocked the hell out of me, because by round number 3 of this fight, Aldo wasn't even really breathing heavy. Maybe he was really tired, but he wasn't showing it. I mean, that is not the Aldo that we're used to seeing at all. And it's so weird because typically when you have cardio issues, right? Cutting weight, cutting extra weight doesn't exactly help your cardio. A fighter's cardio is typically better when they fight more at your natural weight, right? Like if your natural weight is, let's just say 155, right? And you're cutting down to 145, or hell, even cutting down to 135. That weight cut takes a toll on you. That weight cut drains you. And when you go into the fight and perform after you've already cut that weight, you typically don't perform well. And so fighters typically do a lot better when they fight closer to their natural weight. Of course, the same thing happens when you surpass your natural weight and you start, fighting a little bit heavier, like Conor McGregor doing really well at lightweight. and then moving up to the welterweight division, and you start to see him like, he's carrying around more weight now, so he's starting to get tired a bit quicker. But with Jose Aldo, it's been the complete opposite. The man dropped down to the bantamweight division, which like he already had issues making featherweight. Like, for a vast majority of us, we thought if Jose Aldo is going to make a change in weight class, it is going to be up. He's going to move up to the lightweight division because he has trouble making featherweight. The last thing we expected to see Aldo do was move down to the bantamweight division, but that is exactly what he did. And how did he do it? He changed his diet. I believe he got a nutritionist who put him on the ketogenic diet, which is a very good diet, which allowed him to drop that weight very fast in a safe manner as well. And not only drop the weight, but able to maintain his energy. He looks better right now than he did at 145, and he actually has more energy. So whatever it is he is doing in this weight class, it is clearly working. The myth of Jose Aldo being a 3-round fighter, I think that myth is to be dispensed of right now, because he just went 5 full rounds with a well-conditioned pressure fighter, and not only did he beat him, he won every single round. Now, of course, when round number 1 started off, Rob Font was doing very good with the pressure, was pushing Jose Aldo back, and Aldo was retreating a little bit. But the one thing that was constant in this fight, if you go back and rewatch it, is every single time Jose Aldo decided he wasn't going to back up anymore, every single time he decided, I'm going to stand my ground, I'm going to throw back at this man, I'm going to fight back, he was hurting Rob Font. Every time he landed, this man was getting hurt. There was a clear power difference between both of them. Rob was, he's got the volume, he's got the conditioning, but Jose Aldo clearly had the power. And when he believed in it, when he would plant his feet, bite down on the mouthpiece, and fire off at Rob Font, he was hurting him. He hurt him in round number 1. He hurt him again in round number 2. In round number 3, he hurt him. In round number 4, he hurt him. And in round number 5, he hurt him again. Five rounds, he hurt Rob Font in every single one of those rounds. And I think that is absolutely incredible. Now, of course, we have a lot of credit that has to go to Rob Font for his tenacity, for his conditioning, his ability to withstand the damage, especially because Jose Aldo was also implementing grappling, which is so funny because before the fight started, I remember Jose Aldo being introduced by Bruce Buffer as that was Bruce Buffer, right? I don't think that, no, that wasn't Bruce, that was someone else. He was introducing Jose Aldo as a jiu-jitsu fighter, and I thought that was kind of funny because, the last time Jose Aldo got a submission on anyone, it was a rear naked choke in 2005. That's a long time. Like, yes, he has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but that's not predominantly his style, right? Like, even when he gets guys to the ground, he typically doesn't try to finish them by submission. But no, not today, not today. Jose Aldo showed some brilliant jiu-jitsu in the fight today, which is like, what the heck? Jose Aldo actually showing some of that black belt in jiu-jitsu, and oh my God, was he slick. The way he was passing to full mount. The way he was able to maintain full mount, especially in round number 5. The strength of that man's legs to be able to lock that thing and hold mount. Rob Font was fighting. He was trying to muscle. Of course, if he would have used the Kippen method, which I talked about in the other video, the Kippen method that I told you guys I learned from watching Gordon Ryan. If he would have used that Kippen method, he would have escaped that mount. He would have 100% escaped that mount. I was watching that like, oh my God, if only Rob Font remembers to use that, he would have been able to get out. But that's besides the point. Aldo was able to keep that man on the ground every single time the fight hit the ground. Jose, excellent top game. And then in round number 5, he actually almost submitted him. He had him in a almost fully locked in rear naked choke. And Rob, just at the last minute, was able to get his back flat on the mat, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. When you have an opponent that has taken your back, you should be looking to get your back flat on the mat, because if you can get your back flat on the mat, then you can start escaping. They don't have your back anymore, essentially. If they're chest to back, then they have control over your back. So when they've got your back, the goal should be, how can I prevent chest to back? You prevent chest to back by putting your back on the mat. So Rob Font was doing a very good job. He did a very good job of that, which is how he was able to escape. Of course, before that, Jose Aldo had him in a locked-in body triangle on the correct side. And Rob Font, recognizing that the body triangle was on the wrong side, he actually moved Jose Aldo's body to the left to put pressure on the ankle, and that actually allowed him to get himself out of that position. So really good job by Rob Font surviving that rear naked choke. A lesser fighter would have 100% got tapped out right there, especially against a black belt the level of Aldo. But man, if you guys have not seen the fight, I suggest you go watch the fight. Clean sweep on the judges' scorecard, 50-45. One judge, I believe, scored it 49-46, but just solid win. Really happy for Jose Aldo, man. I could not be more happy for that performance, because, again, this proves the man still got it. The man has still got it. If you don't think he's got what it takes to win that belt, then you're not paying attention. Is it possible that he's gonna go out there and beat Petr Yan? That's yet to be seen. They already fought. Yan beat him, stopped him, but do I think Aldo has the skills to get it done? Absolutely. He definitely has the skills to beat Aljo. That's for damn sure. He's got the skills to beat Aljamain Sterling. I don't know about Max Holloway. He'll probably run into Max Holloway again. I don't know how that's going to play out. He already lost twice to that man. And running into Petr Yan again, I don't know how that plays out. But, if he keeps evolving himself, keeps pacing himself like he's been doing right now, keeps using all of his mixed martial arts arsenal. Who knows? Especially those goddamn leg kicks. Round number 4, he started to fire off those brutal Jose Aldo leg kicks, and oh my God, those things are nasty. They are freaking nasty. Anyways, that is it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the fights. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about that main event. And I will definitely see you guys later with a brand new one. As always, stay safe. Peace out.